He loves her.
I mean, it's my wife, I love her very much.
But she is not to be trusted.
How well do you trust Ashley?
I don't trust her at all.
You don't trust her with your freedom?
No, hell no. I catch her in too many lies.
When Zachary McArthur was told his wife Ashley had been arrested when her friend went missing, he had no idea what was going on. She was an ex-CSI, and he used to be a police officer. Ashley spilled the beans that her friend Taylor had been on the wrong side of the tracks for a while.
You know who harmed Taylor?
No, I don't. I don't believe Taylor's been harmed. I think Taylor's doing what Taylor does.
Did Ashley McArthur get caught up in someone else's scheme? The truth may shock you. The beginning Taylor Wright disappeared on the 14th of September when she failed to show up to court and pay money she had stolen from her ex-husband. Considered a runaway at first, officers became interested when the witnesses' stories seemed to be out of sorts. Allegedly, she had given money to a friend to be stored in her safety deposit box. The money in question was considered stolen, and she was court-ordered to place it back in the joint account she had with her ex-husband. But where was the money? Today we explore a love story laced with lies and deception. When Nancy Murchison's second son was born, she was hoping it would be a girl. Mother to 2 boys, she always wanted a daughter. Her son John would bring over his best friend Taylor Wright from school. Nancy knew how platonic and close the two were, but she didn't realize just how close until John came up to her one day worried. 13-year-old Taylor had been taken away by Child Protective Services and was in a group foster home. She planned to run away from the foster home, and she called John to tell him all of this. John, ever concerned, approached his mother.
So he came to me and said, Mom, she's going to run away, and you know what happens to kids that run away? They end up on the streets and things bad will happen, and, can she come and stay with us?
Taylor was just that likable. Friends describe her as a loving person who never met a stranger, basically befriending everyone. It was only natural that Nancy Murchison felt that instant bond with Taylor, possibly saving her from life on the streets. Nancy taught, and Taylor would often go horseback riding on the Murchison farm for 3 hours of North Carolina. Born on the 23rd of April, 1984, Taylor grew up in Florida, the Sunshine State. At 19 years old, Taylor met Jeff Wright, and in the fall of 2003, the two were married 3 years later, while Taylor pursued a degree in criminal justice from the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Following graduation, she became an officer of the law at the Jacksonville Police Department in early 2008. She loved to travel and experience the world out there. The couple welcomed their son Drake in 2011. Taylor was just a hands-on mother. She let her son see the world with her. She was a fun mom, a fun person. Everyone loved Taylor.
She was attentive. She cared for him deeply. She took him everywhere. She didn't slow down her life one bit in a social travel kind of way. She took him out so he could see the world and be experienced in the world as well from a young age.
Taylor had a drive to catch the bad guys. She felt being an officer was a bit too restrictive, so she turned to becoming a private investigator at a well-known firm in 2013. Unfortunately, by March 2015, the couple realized they weren't getting along, so they decided to end things on a civil note. Jeff felt Taylor was cheating on him. It turned out to be true when soon after Jeff moved out, a woman moved in with Taylor and her son. While Jeff and Taylor were ready to part peacefully, the one thing they could not agree on was who would take care of Drake. By June 16, 2016, Jeff had filed for divorce in Florida, and things became ugly. A month later, Taylor assaulted Jeff in a nearby county, leading to her arrest. She posted $500 bail, but Jeff dropped the charges. Still, things were tense. Taylor didn't want to provide proof of income to the court while they were locked in a custody battle over Drake. And the reason behind this was fraud. Taylor filed a $24,000 insurance claim with the military in Jeff's name when they moved to Florida, and she had various secretive business dealings and side hustles to make money that she didn't want to reveal in court. It got messier and messier. Taylor put a GPS tracker on Jeff's car to see where he was taking Drake and assaulted him twice. It was getting bad. The divorce was finalized on the 30th of December 2016, with Jeff gaining full custody of their son and moving to North Carolina. Taylor reopened the divorce case in February 2017, and the scorned lovers had to meet court dates. Struggling financially, she didn't want to let go of her son. Yet she had to meet the court's orders and pay child support. So by court orders, she had to declare her employment records. Apparently, Taylor had money stored in several accounts, but nobody knew where it was coming from, and she wouldn't reveal it in court either. Taylor also had a lot of heirloom jewelry that she didn't want to share with Jeff, so she stashed it with friends. Following these circumstances, she wasn't allowed to take any money from a joint account that Taylor and Jeff had. Taylor moved to Pensacola, a city 5 hours from Jacksonville. She decided it was time for a fresh start. In April 2017, scrolling through a dating app, Taylor met Cassandra Waller, a respectable school administrator. It was an instant connection, according to Cassandra. While they dated for a short period of time, their feelings were intense. However, Taylor had a lot to deal with. She had to get her life together in order to get custody of Drake. So on the 12th of July, she withdrew a lot of money from that joint account with Jeff. That account was frozen from the time of the divorce to June 2017, unfrozen for child support. Neither of them was allowed to take any money. But isn't the forbidden the most desirable? Taylor secretly withdrew over $100,000 from that account and decided to hide it somewhere. It was her money. She wanted to keep it. She deposited $83,000 of that to her savings account and withdrew the money in the form of cashier's checks. She trusted her best friend Ashley McArthur with $34,000, stashing it away to keep it undeclared. Meet Ashley McArthur. Born in 1977 in Florida, Ashley McArthur was raised by her parents John Britt and Rhonda Ritchie, both entrepreneurs in the leisure industry. Ashley's upbringing was deeply rooted in the family's recreational business, Pensacola Automatic Amusement. Earning a degree in forensic science and technology, she graduated in 2001, and by 2006, she was a crime scene investigator at Escambia County Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, that ambition was short-lived. Ashley injured her back in a car accident and had to call it quits, so it was back to business for her. When all was bleak, love gave her hope. She began dating Zachary McArthur, an officer of the law whom she worked with at the sheriff's office. The two got married in 2014. Ashley fell into working as a private investigator, tracking down missing people, solving cyber crimes, and providing background checks to companies. Over time, Zachary quit his job in the police force and joined his wife as a private investigator. Unfortunately, it wasn't as lucrative as the couple thought it would be. Zachary realized his wife was more responsible with the finances, so he left it all to her. He would simply deposit his money in the account and let her deal with the expenses. Ashley managed the finances with her private investigator projects and profits from the family business. Zachary and Ashley had a mutual friend, Taylor. Since they were all from a police background, the bond ran deeper. Taylor completely trusted Ashley with her money, giving her a cashier's check to hold on to. She thought she got away with it, but she was wrong. Jeff wanted his money back and claimed that Taylor had wrongfully withdrawn $100,000 out of her account. At least $30,000 belonged to Jeff. So the court ordered Taylor to pay $4,200 to Jeff and a minimum of $600 a month in child support. During this difficult time in her life, Taylor was living in a trailer on Ashley McArthur's property. According to Ashley, in July 2017, while she wasn't home, Taylor and Cassandra had a huge fight.
My understanding was that she had kind of a long-term relationship with this girl in Biloxi.
Taylor was cheating on Cassandra with a woman from Biloxi, Mississippi, as well as experimenting with cocaine. She assured Cassandra she had only tried cocaine thrice and it was all under control. The two broke up for a week or so, but given Taylor's circumstances, Cassandra was incredibly calm and understanding. To support Taylor through the messy custody battle and financial issues, Cassandra asked her to move in with her. But she had a hard time trusting Taylor, so Taylor promised everything would be run by Cassandra now.
Taylor has always had like a fingerprint thing and a code in her phone.
Mm-hmm.
She let Cass put her fingerprints and stuff in her phone and gave her the codes to her phone.
She can access it with her own
Right.
fingerprint.
They had each other's passwords, and Taylor even let Cassandra register her thumbprint on her phone to give her quick access. They quickly started planning ahead. In the summer of 2017, Drake was visiting Taylor, and she wanted to make the most of it for her 6-year-old. After a great summer, she finally had to drop off her son. It was the 13th of August, and there was tension between the exes. It was so bad that Jeff had police present while Taylor dropped off Drake. Since things were so intense, that week Taylor handed Ashley a $34,000 cashier's check to keep safe for her. It was part of the $100,000 she had withdrawn from her account. She didn't want to keep it in the joint account or under any account with her name on it, or else she would be liable to pay child support. Since the account was unfrozen, it was a sign that she would be allowed to withdraw cash soon. But Taylor had jumped the gun, and the court demanded she put the money back in the account on escrow. This meant while it belonged to her, she had to go through a proper procedure and withdraw money. Taylor asked Ashley to give her money back, but there was always something going on, and Ashley was unable to give her money back. The court had only given her the second week of September to comply, so there was a lot of pressure. Taylor decided to speed things up by meeting up with Ashley to pick up her check. She texted Ashley on the 29th of September, saying she needed keys to the safety deposit box so she could store her ring and money in it. On the 30th of August, Taylor's lawyer requested some time from the court as Taylor had other problems. She had to help her mother prepare for Hurricane Irma. It was supposed to hit Pensacola, Florida with all its might. In the middle of all the chaos and warnings, Taylor texted Ashley on the 31st, saying they could go to the bank and retrieve Taylor's money and sort out other issues. There was an excuse. Then on the 4th of September, Taylor tried again, texting, "I have got to get to the bank tomorrow." On the 5th of September, she texted her best friend again. "Any idea and a time to get to the bank?" Then, shortly after, another text. "We only have 2 more hours to get to the bank. Are you almost ready?" Finally, there was an answer from Ashley. "I just called the bank. They closed at 4. We have to go in the morning. What time are you free?" Frantic, Taylor texted back, "I have to get in that deposit box today and get those papers submitted by 4. I'm out of time." Hours later, Ashley answered she couldn't make it. Taylor texted Ashley once more on the 6th of September, explaining she would be held in contempt of the court for not paying child support and putting $25,000 back in the account. Then on the 7th of September, Taylor sent 5 text messages to her friend. It was clear that something was fishy. By 2 p.m., Taylor was waiting for Ashley at Cassandra's house so that they could go to the bank together. Fortunately, the court permitted a continuance for Taylor until the 12th of September, so she had some time. That evening, Cassandra and Taylor made dinner plans with Ashley at a place called Twin Peaks, where they finally got a hold of Ashley. While Taylor remained calm at the dinner, she later told Cassandra Ashley wouldn't give her money back.
On September 7th, she literally was in the initial 2 or 3 days of moving into my house.
This was going to be the couple's last night together.
That night, we both went to sleep, probably around 8:30.
The next morning, the 8th of September, Taylor and Cassandra had breakfast. Ashley had planned a day out with Taylor since the past week had been so tense. Ashley was supposed to pick up Taylor at 10 a.m., and Taylor was visibly nervous and stressed as 10 a.m. approached. Cassandra had some volunteer work waiting for her, so they both had a busy day ahead and agreed to meet for dinner.
She made me breakfast. She made me like eggs and bacon and stuff, and she was in no hurry for anything. You know, just like a normal morning. I said, "Well, I'll go to the grocery store. I'll pick up some stuff. We'll have wings tonight." And that was that. She was like, "Okay, well, Ash is coming over. We're gonna go to Ash's bank and we're gonna pick up my money and stuff out of the safety deposit box." So as I was getting in my car, Ash had pulled up, and I was like, "All right, you know, we hugged, we kissed."
About 20 minutes later, Ashley showed up. Taylor gave me a hug and a kiss, and I said, "Well, you guys have a good day."
And this was the last time Cassandra saw Taylor.
The last time that I ever saw Taylor.
Taylor and Cassandra kept in touch, texting the entire day. But Taylor was being suspiciously evasive. Given their history, Cassandra decided to call Taylor, but she didn't pick up. Around 4 p.m., somebody finally answered the phone. It was Ashley, and she explained Taylor was on the horse and they were just hanging out at a farm in Milton. Relieved, Cassandra left a message for Taylor and hung up. By 5 p.m., Cassandra was a bit concerned since the two had dinner plans. She kept calling and texting, but Taylor wouldn't respond.
So it was probably about 5. I'm starting to get a little frustrated because we had dinner plans. I text Taylor and I get nothing, and call Taylor and I get nothing.
Around 6 p.m., Cassandra texted Ashley. Cassandra waited 2 more hours and texted Ashley again. Ashley explained that the two had gone back to her house where Taylor said she was going to call an Uber and get some drinks. The last time she saw Taylor, she was holding 2 bags. A brown bag with a lot of money and a gray bag with some of her belongings and clothes. Ashley went inside her house, and when she came out, Taylor was gone. This was disturbing.
I text Ashley. I said, "Where are you guys?" This was probably 6, maybe 7 o'clock at night. She goes, "What do you mean she's not?" She left my house around 5:15 o'clock. And she said Taylor took an Uber downtown to have a drink. She was stressed out and she just needed to chill for a minute.
For 20 minutes, Cassandra sat upset, feeling betrayed. But then, almost as if she knew Cassandra was upset, Taylor sent her a message. "I'll call you later. I'm not angry with you, and I should have called, but I just needed time to think. I'm trying to get my life organized and on track." That night, Ashley dropped by Cassandra's house and gave her some jewelry that Taylor had left in her car. She tried to reassure Cassandra that everything was going to be okay. Later, around midnight, she sent Cassandra a screenshot of Taylor's text message, saying she was fine, but stressed about the court proceedings and needed time to think before moving in with Cassandra. And this was the breadcrumb that led Cassandra to the truth. This did not sound like Ashley at all. Cassandra knew for a fact that Taylor was very excited about settling down and did not feel her life was unorganized. Cassandra saw the red flags in the text now and decided to investigate. The next day on a hunch, she called hospitals in Florida, Biloxi, and New Orleans, and there was no patient with her name. For the first time in her life, Cassandra called Jeff Wright, and he said Drake was trying to get through to Taylor as well. In fact, she had texted him, which was strange and not like Taylor at all, she always called them. When Cassandra talked about going to the police, Jeff immediately stopped her, saying Taylor had been violent to him in the past and advised against involving the police because Taylor would not approve of it. This was very suspicious, but Cassandra was aware of this, as Taylor hadn't contacted the police about her problem with Ashley either. She was holding money illegally. Cassandra held back for 1 more day and then finally went to the police on the 10th of September. The Pensacola Police Department explained that being an adult, Taylor had every right to leave. She might have run away, and they didn't take it very seriously because one isn't even considered missing before 48 hours. By the 11th, Cassandra had almost accepted the possibility that Taylor was on the run from the law. Nobody knew how she made money, she was very secretive about it, and maybe she did run away. Despite her irritation, she filed a missing persons report on the 14th of September. That same day, Ashley came over to help Cassandra go through Taylor's belongings. Among other items were 2 semi-automatic guns. They also found 4 knives in a dark gray bag carrying Taylor's clothes. Cassandra realized it was the bag Ashley saw Taylor with. Another strange thing was Ashley taking photographs of Taylor's belongings, claiming to document everything. She even offered to store Taylor's guns, since Cassandra didn't like guns. Oddly, Cassandra also recovered the brown bag from her guest room, the same bag Taylor took off with. While the gray bag held clothes, this one was empty. Cassandra found it incredibly suspicious. The detectives assigned to Taylor's case deduced something bigger was at play after talking to people who knew her. Their main suspects were Jeff Wright and Cassandra Waller. Basically, they were treating this case as a homicide, and statistically speaking, the chances of a partner killing their mate are higher than anything else. When Detective Gigliotti interviewed Cassandra at the police station, they realized she had been carrying out volunteer work at a shelter. During the interview, the officers suddenly had another suspect.
Do you think Ashley would have the capability or the means to harm Taylor?
I don't know that well. I can't answer that. I don't know.
Ashley McArthur was the last person who had seen Taylor Wright. Detective Gigliotti immediately got on the phone with Ashley, and she told him the same timeline of events that Cassandra had reported. On September 8th, she picked up Taylor, and the two of them ventured to Ashley's warehouse on Pace Boulevard, which serves as the operational hub for her family's company. Afterward, they returned to Cassandra's place before heading to a house located on Beulah Road for a work-related errand. Later, they visited a farm in East Milton, where they rode horses. On Sunday, September 17th, detectives revisited Cassandra's home to sift through some of Taylor's belongings left behind. Among the items discovered was a cashier's check amounting to $19,000. This finding raised suspicions of foul play, as it seemed inconceivable for Taylor to abandon such a significant sum voluntarily. The detectives now had a prime suspect, Cassandra. They also had a warrant to check Taylor's GPS coordinates, which revealed some interesting information. Turns out, Ashley was lying. Detective Gigliotti visited Ashley's house on the 18th of September. Ashley told the exact same story, except when she was questioned about other properties they might have visited. She mentioned her Aunt Cara Britt had property in the north of the county, but they didn't visit it. She also didn't remember the address, but she agreed to come to the station and give her official statement. This interview was all in a light spirit. Ashley was casual, laid back, almost flirtatious. During the entire interview, Ashley was leaning forward, tossing her hair, giggling.
So it was kind of confusing because sometimes she would tell us that she was going to date guys, and then the next thing you know, she'd be with a girl. So we kind of didn't know, like, where she was at any given point. Zach and Jess are friends, so it wasn't like she was trying to hide the girl side of that from us, because, I mean, we knew about her, and then she would tell us, you know, she told us about the guys that she was with. I think one of her trips to Vegas, she went with a guy.
Ashley kept painting a certain image of Taylor, insisting she was a bad influence. She was into drugs. She was hiding money.
I only knew her to have one phone. Until that Friday, I saw a different phone. And the only reason I saw it is because, or noticed it, because it had the exact same case that her other phone did. But she had one plugged in, and I saw her on the other one.
She was almost convincing the officers that Taylor had skipped town for drugs, taken off with the money instead of facing a legal battle.
You know, and she was, in fact, that day that all that happened, she was like, you know, I felt bad for Cass, but it hurt me that I lied to you about the drugs and whatever else. And I'm like, well, you know, that's not anything that you can't fix. I mean, you did drugs a couple times, okay, it's bad, but the only thing I worry about is with the drug situation. Like, I wouldn't even, if I didn't know about the drug situation, I wouldn't be worried about her. I would say Taylor's doing what Taylor does. Maybe the drug issue is where she's going with the jail thing.
Animated during her entire interrogation, her hand gestures and legs indicated she was confident about what she was saying. Ashley was incredibly cooperative, right up until officers questioned her about the safety deposit box at Wells and Fargo that she kept Taylor's money in.
Have you ever been to Wells Fargo out in Bellevue?
I have.
Okay. Have you ever had a safe deposit box there?
No.
Ashley denied any knowledge of this. The officers had gone through all her text messages with Taylor, which repeatedly discussed meeting at WF, which officers quickly deduced was Wells and Fargo. So as a backup plan, she claimed Taylor wanted to get a deposit box at that particular bank.
And I don't know why she wanted to make it seem like she had a safety deposit box.
That's what's very peculiar to me. That's why I'm asking these questions, because it's come out that there was a safety deposit box apparently in your name.
She even mentioned the alleged bags again, except they were found at Cassandra's house.
I sat in the truck. Taylor went inside. She said she needed to get some papers. And that's, I think, when she got her other bag. And she brought a couple, boxes out to the truck.
So she went and got a bag. What was in the bag? When you say a bag, like a garbage bag or duffel bag?
No, like a little, sort of like a tactical bag.
Okay.
Ashley was the good friend, helping out Taylor in a time of need, except this was not the way she phrased it.
Trying to help her, and of course the story that I get is a very sob story about how Jeff's taken all this money and he took all this stuff from her, and now she's just, trying to hide it and move it and do all kind of just shady stuff with it, and she's overinflating credit cards and stuff, putting extra money on credit cards.
It was a backhanded compliment. Taylor was good, but not really a good person. Ashley even tried to slip in that the missing woman had a drinking problem.
She was on the phone, and I went in the store, got a drink, and got her another beer.
How much had she been drinking that day?
She had a Yeti type cup thing full of beer.
I mean, was she intoxicated?
She didn't seem to be. But I mean, I don't drink at 10 o'clock in the morning either, so I don't.
Sure.
Adding a cliche, her facial expressions are almost rehearsed in a mirror.
Have you ever seen her drinking at that time of day before?
No.
That was odd behavior.
And in fact, I said something to her. I was like, beer at this time of the morning? She's like, well, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. I'm like...
It's a perfect response.
The next investigative step for Detectives Hyde and Gigliotti was to follow the route described by Ashley, looking for potential surveillance spots where they could conduct observations. They found CCTV footage from a Tom Thumb convenience store situated at 9 Mile and Beulah Roads, capturing Ashley McArthur inside the store at approximately 11:53 a.m. In the footage, she wore a white t-shirt, jean shorts, and flip-flops. She bought a certain type of concrete mix. Notably, Ashley was driving a silver Ford F-250 at this time, which to her husband, Zach. Ashley typically used 2 Jeeps, one black and one white. She always drove the black one, so this deviation from her usual Jeep seemed suspicious. Cassandra testified that Ashley arrived to pick up Taylor in her black Jeep. However, the surveillance footage contradicted this testimony, indicating Ashley's presence at the convenience store in her husband's truck at the same time. This inconsistency suggests that Ashley swapped vehicles between the time she arrived to collect Taylor around 10 a.m. and her appearance at the store nearly 2 hours later. Officers asked Taylor if they could see her phone, and her body language changed considerably.
So when she called you, she normally contacted you on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you keep records in your phone? Do you commonly delete numbers that called you?
No, it's whatever is there. I think iPhones keep 30 days or whatever of whatever's available.
In the past 30 days or longer, if we're able to pull more, do you think that she could have possibly contacted you from that other number?
It's possible.
She crossed her legs as tightly as she could to hide her nervousness, laughing nonchalantly. They realized they had a baseline. Suddenly, Ashley was interested in her phone, touching it, meddling with it. She was nervous about something.
Would you mind if we what's it called? Dump the phone?
Forensically examine your phone.
Yeah.
Just basically just dumps the phone, and we can see the numbers that are calling. We don't look at anything. I don't know if that must be. There may be embarrassing picture on there. We're not worried about that.
Yeah, we're not concerned about that.
It's all professional. We're looking for one thing. We're trying to find Taylor. Is what we're trying to do.
Oh, yeah, I don't mind.
You don't mind?
No.
Okay. Let me get. We just got to sign a form that you don't mind.
Ashley was forthcoming with the details. Her body language suggested eagerness, but it was a lie. While being flirtatious and giggly, she wasn't too happy about the officers going through her phone. When the officers had the official phone records, Ashley's story about Taylor calling an Uber turned out to be false as well. Additionally, neither of their phones pinged in the areas Ashley had mentioned in her interview.
You went and took this scenic highway north, and then from there you went to the farm.
Right.
The farm is where?
It's off of Highway 90 in Milton.
And that's the address you provided me?
Right.
And who owns that farm?
My aunt.
Suddenly, Ashley was the prime suspect, but the officers did not indicate that. In fact, they put her at ease. Ashley was painting Taylor as a promiscuous drug addict, reckless woman digging a hole for herself.
She's been with Jessica Wood, those two guys that she said, showed me the pictures of or whatever, Cass, a doctor.
What was the doctor? Was he?
It's a she. And some other girl from South Florida. So that's like 7 people that I've known her to like date or be with, whatever, in the past year.
By now, the detectives knew she was weaving a web of deceit and lies. The cell phone tower data contradicted Ashley's account of her whereabouts on September 8th, placing her 30 miles away from the Milton horse farm she claimed to have visited. Instead, she was in the northwest region of the county, specifically at her aunt's property on 2201 Britt Road. Despite acknowledging her family's ownership of property in Escambia County, Ashley conveniently couldn't recall the address or even the name of the road, which turned out to be Britt Road, her maiden name. This failure to provide crucial information, despite promising to do so, raised eyebrows. Officers brought her into the station on the 19th of October for another interview. This time, they knew they had the right person. They were simply getting her out of the way so they could carry out search warrants while keeping an eye on her. A thorough police search was carried out in 3 areas: the Britt Road property, Ashley's residence, and the warehouse on Pace Avenue. All vehicles parked were searched as well, including Ashley's Jeeps. In the second interview, Ashley's body language was completely different. By now, she had been read her rights and presented with evidence that she had been lying. They had bank records. Ashley had deposited a cashier's check of $34,000, which she claimed it was just money Taylor owed her. If she were telling the truth, there was no reason to hide this information for an entire month. Confronted with the data from the phone records, she changed her story and suddenly remembered going to the property on Britt Road to pick up Taylor's lockbox. She had only withheld all this information because she was a good friend, and Taylor made her promise not to tell anyone. The property on 2201 Britt Road was owned by Ashley's aunt Kara Britt for nearly 40 years. It spanned over 23 acres with notable features, including a 3-acre lake, a 2-story barn, a trailer, and a horse pasture enclosed by a wooden fence. Ashley kept her own horse there and had maintained 2 horses on the property for the past 7 years, despite claiming infrequent visits to the police. Kara Britt maintained the property, and so in February 2017, while preparing for a family wedding, Kara recalled removing a large multicolored hammock hanging from a tree on the property. The wedding was scheduled for April 2017, and Ashley attended it as well. The officers laid it all out on the table.
The thing is we know that you had knowledge that phone was there because a text was sent to your phone from that phone, and it was in your possession. It was at the same location. So either Taylor was sitting in your bedroom with you, right, texting you, and you somehow didn't know, and then stayed in your car with you and communicated with other individuals the entire next day, all the way out to the wedding, went to this wedding, was hiding in your car, there's no way humanly possible that you didn't have knowledge of the phone.
Either Taylor was texting from the car or Ashley had her cell phone, the latter being the more likely explanation. After trying to deny everything, Ashley realized she couldn't keep up with the lies anymore and asked for an attorney.
Don't let us tell your story. Because this is going to tell us what happened. Don't let us tell something that may not be true. Tell us what happened.
I think at this point I need an attorney because it seems to me that y'all think that I did something to her.
Officers finally found Taylor Wright on the 19th of October 2017, but it was too late. They recovered the skeletonized remains of a woman along the fence line, and the body was wrapped in a multicolored hammock in a shallow grave that was secured with soil and concrete, the same concrete Ashley bought at the store. The only identification at that time was a necklace that Taylor Wright owned. Ashley McArthur was arrested for the murder of Taylor Wright. However, this wasn't the only time Ashley was on the officer's radar. Between July 2015 and September, Ashley was accused of stealing money from a jukebox and games installed by her company at a Zale Lounge. The payment methods on the machines, namely credit card and mobile app, would go to Ashley's account, and the bar could only collect cash payments. As per the 50/50ths agreement, Ashley only divided the cash with the Azale Lounge bar. Many other businesses came forth with similar allegations. The day Ashley was to meet with the bar owners, on the 8th of June 2017, a fire broke out at her office. And because she forgot to activate the fire alarms, the place was rubble. Investigations revealed arson, and while she got out of the meeting with the bar owners, she still had to pay them $13,000 that she had stolen. But that's not what she did with the money.
The state says Ashley McArthur had a business called Pensacola Automatic Entertainment. They say she had an agreement with the Azalea Lounge where they would split the proceeds of the jukebox 50-50.
When officers brought Zachary McArthur in for questioning, they realized he was clueless.
Do you know anything about this money that Taylor had given you all?
No, absolutely not. She's never given me anything. Absolutely. But I mean, I read in the online or whatever what you're talking about. No, I've never got anything like from that. No.
Okay. Do you know anything about your finances?
No, to be honest. I give her when I work a case or and I got a settlement from my attorney, I hand it straight to Ash. She takes care of everything.
Zachary hardly knew about the finances. Wife handled it all. He was surprised to know she had cleared out their account.
Is there any indication that you guys are in financial trouble?
No, I thought I'm living off my the settlement I just got, and plus she works every day. I mean, I haven't worked in a few months doing the PI stuff, but I didn't know you had any financial problems at all.
Unlike Ashley, he recalled the property on Britt Road.
The last time I went out there is when I traded my four-wheeler for a side-by-side, and that's the last time I've been. Before that, I couldn't tell you.
When was that?
A couple months back.
Do you think that it would have been before this happened or after?
Probably before.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you know anything about a trailer
I've got a little bitty trailer that is my side-by-side wouldn't fit on it, so I just left it out there. I was going to get her cousin to maybe replace the wood on it or whatever.
Okay. Now her cousin Kyle?
Yeah.
Do you know him?
Not very well, no.
Have you met him a few times?
Yeah. I mean, I've been around him. He's come over to the house, and we went to a wedding out there, I don't know, beginning of summer, whenever his brother got better. That's it.
So how often do you think that she would go out there, if you just had to guess?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Do you remember the last time that you knew she was up there?
I know she had to bring me a key to get in the gate to get my four-wheeler out when I traded with that guy.
Do you know a friend named Audrey?
Yeah, that's Ash's friend.
And do you know how she knows Audrey?
From the pool hall.
Have you ever met her before?
Yeah.
Did she come to your house? Or
She's come over a few times with Ash.
would you say that they're close friends?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you spoken to Audrey at all since all this happened?
No.
Who else does she hang out with at that pool hall?
Jessica, I've heard her. Jessica and the guy that owns it's Brandon, and she and him kind of hooked up back in. We kind of had an open relationship. I'm sure you already know that.
Zachary explained the two had an open relationship, so she was simultaneously dating Brandon Beatty.
How well do you trust Ashley?
I don't trust her at all.
You don't trust her with your freedom?
No, hell no. I catch her in too many lies.
When Brandon was questioned about Ashley, he was definitely not holding back anything. He knew there were red flags, and he wasn't afraid of telling the police despite being Ashley's love interest.
Your feelings on all this missing person and her talking to you, what's your thoughts?
There's more to the story. I don't know if she's point blank said they are not going to find her. She took that money and left.
What do you think about that?
Don't make no sense. The girl ain't gonna leave her kid.
Zachary was still in denial. Or perhaps he simply didn't know the truth. However, he defended Ashley, talking about her never doing drugs or anything illegal. He was surprised to know there was an account with Taylor, Ashley, and Zachari's name on it.
Do you know how Taylor died?
For Ackerman told me that the girl was shot, and he heard that from Mulchan.
So Ackerman told you, and he got it from Mulchan?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he elaborate on anything else?
He just said that they thought the girl was shot.
Okay.
Taylor was shot, and there was a bullet missing from the revolver in their home. It all added up. Zachary couldn't wrap his head around the fact that the woman he shared his life with would do something like this.
I can't see her doing something like that. I mean, she's super intelligent. You know, she's got a
master's degree.
Yeah, or is it master's or I don't know, one of the two. And that's just sloppy. I mean, that's sloppy shit. That's sloppy. I can't see her doing that. It's super sloppy.
After a 4-day trial, Ashley McArthur was found guilty of murder on the 30th of August 2019.
Ashley McArthur, guilty of first-degree premeditated murder with a firearm as charged in the indictment. So say we all.
She was sentenced to 25 years in prison, serving out her sentence at Lowell Correctional Institution in Marion County, Florida. Zachary McArthur moved back to his residence in Florida, cutting all ties with her. Kara Britt and Kyle Britt have been giving interviews and condoning Ashley's actions, standing by Taylor Wright's family.